Hello, my dear students. Welcome to my class. I, Dr. Swati Pandya, welcomes you. Students, we are going to start today chapter 3. So, this is the first session of chapter 3. We are discussing about human reproduction. Before going to start the detail about this chapter, let us recall these few terms which we are familiar with. I think you are familiar with this term because you have learned it earlier in your primary standards. I think in 8th standard or 10th standard. So let us revise. Let us have a look. These are some few words. Viviparous, gametogenesis. This term is we have learned earlier in first chapter only. Then insemination, fertilization, implantation, gestation, parturition, and puberty. First of all, I would like to discuss about this last term, puberty. Puberty, if you remember, it is the onset of reproductive activity. We are talking about humans, so definitely the age at which the reproductive abilities they develop in any individual, either it may be male or female, so that is onset of puberty. So the activity regarding reproductive organs they start, like development of ovaries in female, development of testes in males, because they are the main reproductive organs, and related organs they also develop which are supportive. Then I would like to discuss about this first term, viviparous. When you have discussed about animal classification, these terms would have come. Viviparous is the word which indicates the direct birth of young one from its parents. So that is viviparous nature. And humans are also viviparous, and all the mammals are viviparous. We have seen many times around us the dog, cat, cow, buffalo, lion. They all develop a young one. They give rise to young one direct birth. So the development of young one it takes place inside the mother's body. That's why it is known as viviparous. Next term is gametogenesis. If we separate these two terms, gamete and genesis. So formation of gametes. Genesis is formation. So formation of gamete is known as gametogenesis. So here two type of gametes will be produced, male gametes and female gametes. Male gametes are known as sperms. Female gametes are known as ova or ovum. Ovum is a singular word. Ova are many in number. Next term is fertilization. When these gametes are produced, the fusion takes place just to form zygote. So fertilization is an important event which we have discussed in detail in first chapter earlier. So you are better familiar with this term, but here also this term is useful. So fusion of male and female gametes just to produce a zygote, that is fertilization. Then insemination, it is the transfer of sperms into female genital tract. As we have seen regarding plants, the importance of pollination, transfer of pollen from the male reproductive part to the female reproductive part, that is on stigma. So that we have used the term pollination there. But here we are using the word insemination, here the transfer of sperm into female genital tract. Next term is implantation. Implantation we will discuss in detail afterwards, but only we will just have a look about the definition. It is the formation and development of the blastocyst and its attachment to the uterine wall. So, this we will discuss afterwards. Gestation period, this is the development of embryonic stages, different stages when embryo development takes place. So, that whole time period is known as gestation, and it varies from species to species. If we talk about human, almost 9 months of development of embryo will take place. So it will require round about 9 months time. So that is a gestation period. After completion of development, then parturition takes place. So last term is parturition. That means after completion of development of young one, the delivery of the baby is completed. So delivery is done, which is known as parturition. Actually, we are familiar with all these descriptions, but proper terminology is very important in every chapter in biology. So you better look for, you revise all these terms so that you can learn more and more properly. Let us start with male reproductive system. So male reproductive system, actually it is located in pelvis region. Pelvis region is the lower abdominal region, and it includes a pair of testes. So two testes are present, one in the left side, another on right side. So we are calling here a pair of testes along with accessory ducts, along with accessory glands, and lastly external genitalia. So all they participate in the male reproductive system. Individually we will be learning for each and every term. So let us start with first testes, which are very important reproductive male reproductive organ where the development of sperm takes place. So each testes is actually oval in shape with length of about 4 to 5 centimeter and width of about 2 to 3 centimeter. The testes is actually covered by a layer, a dense covering, and each testes has about 250 compartments called testicular lobules. And these testes, they are situated outside the abdominal cavity within a pouch like structure known as scrotum. So this scrotal sac, it is actually found outside the body of male. What is the importance of scrotum? Let us see. So scrotum, it helps in maintaining the low temperature of testes. It is not that much low, but about 2 to 2.5 degree centigrade lower than the normal internal body temperature. And this temperature is very much required for uh, spermatogenesis, that means formation of sperms. That's why the testes, they are found outside the abdominal cavity, which is a very important thing to remember. Let's see the detail of male reproductive system. If we see the side view, then this diagram shows, so this is the scrotum, which is present outside the abdominal cavity and inside which the testes are located. Then this is the part which is known as external genitalia. Here are some of the accessory reproductive glands which are helpful, and this is urinary bladder. Actually it has no role in reproductive system, but it is associated here, it is present just nearby this whole system. That's why we are considering here. But actually urinary bladder, it stores urine, and urine is a part of excretory system, not reproductive system, but only we are mentioning the name so that exact location of all the structures are clear. Now if we talk about each testicular lobules which are found inside the testes, Each lobule contains 1 to 3 highly coiled seminiferous tubules. You can see here. So these are testicular lobules. And here, very much thread like structures. They are present. They are highly coiled structures which are known as seminiferous tubules. What is the importance of seminiferous tubules? Actually, two type of cells are present known as male germ cells, which are involved in spermatogonia development, and another are Sertoli cells. So, male germ cells they undergo meiotic division and finally leading to sperm formation. We all know that in reproductive cells, meo- meiosis type of cell division takes place. We have learned in 11th standard. So, meiosis occur in male germ cells which finally develop sperms. What are the function of Sertoli cells? They actually provide nutrition for development of germ cells. So they are supportive in nature. Then some space is present, interstitial space. It is the region which is present outside the seminiferous tubules and it contains small blood vessels and Leydig cells. What are Leydig cells? They are actually involved in synthesis and they secrete testicular hormones known as androgens. So, formation of hormones, they are involved here. Now, this is the cross section of this testes. So, actually, this oval structure is testes, and here you can see the coiled structure, it is known as seminiferous tubule. And how they are arranged in a layer, their arrangement is present here. These are seminiferous tubules. Then, this diagram we will understand afterwards, but if we see the cross section of seminiferous tubule, the transverse section it shows certain stages of development of sperm. So starting from the beginning, so beginning takes place here, and in this way the sperms they are developed. So these are some developmental stages starting from here to here. Let us see the male sex accessory ducts. This is testes. Right now we have discussed about it. This is the testes which is found in scrotal sac. Then certain ducts are present nearby it. So firstly we talk about rete testis. Here the seminiferous tubules of the testes open into vas efferentia through rete testis. So this is the importance. In previous diagram we have seen all these seminiferous tubules they will be collected over here. Okay, so seminiferous tubules of testes they open into vas efferentia through rete testis. So actually it is a bridge. So here you can see this portion is rete testis where from each and every side all the seminiferous tubules they join in this particular region which is known as rete testis. Then it is followed by vas efferentia. So these minute tubular parts here, which I am showing in the diagram, this is known as vasa efferentia. The vas efferentia leave the testes and open into epididymis, which is located just along the outer surface of each testis. So if you see the original diagram here, this particular covering, this is actually not a covering but the coiled structure of seminiferous tubules. So the seminiferous tubules which are present inside and here also, so the connection is with rete testis which emerge into vas efferentia and then portion is known as epididymis. So this portion is known as epididymis which is very highly coiled. So epididymis leads to vas deferens now that ascends to the abdomen and loop over the urinary bladder. So this portion is epididymis, then it ascends like this and then goes and loops here. You just see this is the urinary bladder and here the loop is formed. So before making a loop, we have labeled it vasa deferens. So students, even you have to remember the sequence. We have started with testes, then inside the testes we have seen seminiferous tubules. Seminiferous tubules, they unite at rete testis, which leads into vas efferentia, then epididymis, and then vas deferens. Now it makes a loop over here and then it joins here. So this it receives actually a duct from seminal vesicle and open into urethra as the ejaculatory duct. You see here, these three are accessory glands, which we will discuss afterwards. But I'll show you all the three glands. This is seminal vesicle. This is prostate gland. It is a single. Seminal vesicle are paired glands. This is prostate gland. And lastly, a pair of bulbourethral gland. It is also known as Copper's gland. So when the secretions they are poured, then only they are travel through urethra. So now this portion it is known as urethra. And this particular structure it is known as penis, which is its outer covering is known as foreskin, and the tip region of the penis is known as glans penis. So I told you that we will discuss about uh, accessory glands afterwards. Before that, let us complete all the structures. So we have reached up to urethra. Here also you can see this portion, urethra. So you let us see the description of it. Actually, these ducts store and transport the sperms from the testes to the outside through urethra. We have right now seen the sperms, they travel through vas deferens, they loop over here, they come here, and particularly in this region, all the glands they pour their secretions, and then the sperms along with the glandular secretion it reaches up to the tubular part, which is known as urethra. Urethral meatus, the next term. The urethra originates from urinary bladder and extends through the penis to its external opening known as urethral meatus. So, somewhat here, this portion is known as urethral meatus. Then penis, I've right now explained you. It is the male external genitalia and it is made up of spatial tissue which help in erection of the penis to facilitate insemination. Insemination, we have right now discussed transfer of sperm up to the female genital area. Then what is foreskin? It is the enlarged end of penis called glans penis, which is covered by a loose fold of skin. So all these structures they are regarding the male reproductive parts. Let us talk about accessory glands. Male accessory glands include three types of glands. First is a pair of seminal vesicle, a pair of bulbourethral gland, and a single prostate gland. Let us see the individual functions, importance, location. Seminal vesicle, it is situated near the base of urinary bladder. And the secretions of these glands constitute seminal plasma, which is rich in fructose, calcium, and certain enzymes. So, definitely it provides nutrition to sperms. Next is prostate gland. It is very large gland and it surrounds the urethra portion. It secretes milky alkaline fluid which neutralizes acidity of vagina during transfer of sperm, which is known as intercourse. Lastly, bulbourethral gland. Its secretion also help in lubrication of penis. So we have completed all the related structures regarding male reproductive system. Some important process we will discuss later on. In this session, we end here. So revise all the things. This chapter is important in your further unit test. So please revise it. Um, Even few terms you already know, only revision is required to remember. So we end here today. Take care. Bye bye, students.